Hello again, YouTube. I've had a few private messages recently about the original video of the boat, so I've posted this video as an update so you can see what's been done. The boat's now changed colour and is about 90% complete. I've just got the underside of the hull to paint now, which is going to be British Racing Green, of course. Because of the steep angle of the dead rise of the hull, installing the rudder servos, quarter-scale high-techs, took a bit of thinking about. These actually sit in trays which then bolt onto the transom and hull, as you can see from the picture. I've just ordered a 4000 mAh LiPo battery to power the servos and the two pumps, one for the exhaust cooling and the other for the fuel. These are the retaining brackets for the water-cooled silencer. I use the term silencer in the loosest possible terms, as when it's running it ain't half loud. It sounds absolutely awesome. This was a headache. The stuffing tube has a Teflon liner between it and the actual flex shaft. To avoid any damage or excessive wear to it, I wanted a bearing on here. I carefully machined this out of a lump of solid circular plastic. Inside it is an industrial strength bearing ordered from bearingboys.co.uk, a top service as well. The first problem I had running the engine in was fueling. I needed a pump as the carb sits massively higher than the tank. This is how the problem was solved. The pump lifts the fuel to the header tank, the lower of the tubes goes to the carb, the upper one, once filled with fuel, goes back to the tank. I've tested this now and it works absolutely perfectly. The fuel pump was a hideously tight fit though. In this picture you can also see my homemade inlet manifold. This has been the biggest nightmare, as I've had two standard rubber ones fail, so I've had to build my own. The standard ones are about as much use as suspension to a forklift truck. Honestly, this has set me back weeks. I wanted the steering mechanism to look as scale as possible, and I'm genuinely proud of this. Every single piece was scratch built. It's now operated by one servo and not independently by two. The outer arms are two tubes that fit exactly inside each other, so when you operate it, it looks exactly scale-like. You can also see in this picture why I use the term silencer loosely, with 16 exhaust pipes. As previously mentioned, this is the inlet manifold I scratch built. I cannibalised the metal adapter that mates to the carb and fabricated this with fiberglass. The matting used with this was very heavy duty indeed and reinforced with compressed metal gauze. The second picture shows the fully finished engine mount. I've always enjoyed painting things and I was really looking forward to this. I think the colour looks really good. The exhaust will be painted silver and the underside British Racing Green along with the aerofoil. I'll progressively rub this down with wet and dry paper to around 1600 grit and then use rubbing compound before applying 2-pack clear lacquer. The scale comms mast was actually really fun to build. This took just a couple of hours using plasticard. Also, the cockpit detailing is coming along really well now. One other thing with using a mini moto engine is the carb actuator and throttle cable. This also required considerable modification, as the internal spring has so much tension on it that not even my quarter-scale servo would pull it. This has been redesigned so that the servo can pull it with ease. It now has a totally different type of spring fitted. I've had the boat running several times now just for running the engine in and sort of general problem solving, so I didn't take a video of it. As soon as I get the last little teething problem sorted, I'll quite happily post a video of a running engine. Watch this space, and thanks to all those that have taken an interest.